Hey everybody, I'm Monika McKenzie, joined as always by Rett McGibbon to talk about the Liberty men's hockey team. So first off, let's recap what we just saw against Stonybrook. They had a great game Friday night, unfortunately losing Saturday. Talk about overall just the highs and the lows of last weekend.
Well, I think some nights you see them come out on a Friday and they stutter when they start getting going. They're sputtering along, and then this time though they came out and they were rolling. That beautiful first goal right off the bat between Quinn Ryan and Brock Thompson was fantastic, and I think that kind of set the tone. Even though it was a finesse play, it just established a little bit of dominance in their head, like, ooh, that was sweet, let's keep it going. Bashinsky, good to see him stay out of the penalty box, but also score 3 goals. Brock just continues this fantastic second-year season with the Flames, and I think the Flames came out prepared. And I think Stonybrook had a little bit of bust legs as well, and they weren't the typical Stonybrook team we've seen. And that translated into the next night, Saturday night, and part of it was I wasn't there. That's why they lost. No, I'm kidding. But no, they, Stonybrook came out and just played a much better hockey game, and they had their legs going. And it was just two really good teams going head-to-head. And if you lose 5-3, really a 4-3 game with an empty netter, as a coaching staff, splitting with Stonybrook, the number 9 team in the nation, you got to be pretty happy with that. It shows that your team has grown. They didn't allow the Ohio losses, back-to-back losses, to really sink in. They just got right back to work, and they improved over the past week.
Yeah, and in the past, there's always been a really strong rivalry between Liberty and Stonybrook. I mean, you might not agree. I didn't really see it as much this weekend, but talk about the history that the rivalry has.
I don't know, the goaltender Shipman, he had something up his sleeve there for Carlson in the second game. But, yeah, we have played this team so many times, Stonybrook and Liberty. It's always a home and home. So you're playing these guys 4 times a year. You mark it down on your calendar. The guys love going up to New York City to play, Stonybrook at home, and I'm sure they love coming down here with the atmosphere at the LIC. So it's just been one of those, it's a contest that you love to watch between these two teams. And I know as a broadcaster myself, I'm always like, all right, let me look at the schedule here, and I mark down, all right, Stonybrook's coming to town and some other teams, and it's just fun. And I think the big reason is because it's good hockey. And you're not going to get the emotions if you're blowing a team out 10-1. The other team's going to be frustrated. But when you're fighting for every inch, tooth and nail in a hockey game, that's where you start to get the bad blood, the intensity, and just the rivalry create. So I think that's why over the past 10 years or so, these two teams have been neck and neck and just battling at times.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, taking a look at what's ahead for this weekend, the Delaware Blue Hens are in town. You actually predicted this happening in the preseason. They haven't had the best season so far. What do you think is causing them trouble this year?
Coaching changes are tough, and I'm not blaming it on the coaches, but when they've had like 4 coaches over the last 5 years, it's always a struggle because in hockey, it's systematic, right? And obviously there is some free play, but if you have a guy coming in changing the system year in and year out, or even if it's minor details, it just knocks down the stability of the program to a degree. And this is a group that if they were in the top 25 at the end of the year, it wouldn't surprise me. It's Delaware. They always play well. And I think they'll be right back at it next year. But it's just, you got young faces, and you've got so many coaching changes here as of late that it's just tough on a school and on a program. And hopefully, to me, Delaware in my head is like one of the original 6. I know they're not, but of D1, but that's just the feel they give you. So I'm hoping that they can be back to where they should be next year.
Yeah, and we saw last Friday against Stonybrook, the Flames were able to put together a full 60-minute game. How do you see them building off of that and carrying that over into this weekend?
Well, I think this group, and you're starting to see it, the more they play together as a team, the more confidence they're getting, the more they're buying into their system as a whole, and that is creating a positive vibe throughout the group. And I know Kirk Handy, I believe, gave it to him pretty good after that first Ohio loss and challenged his team to really, it's time to step up. Some of you guys might be freshmen, but you've played good hockey in the past. There's no reason for coming out flat and not winning 50-50 pucks and not giving it 110% night in and night out. And I think that's really been the difference, especially in the Bashinsky-Gammer line. And I really like the addition of Blomberg to that group because he's not going to be an offensive dynamo for that group, but he will go head first into the corners, dig out pucks. He does the dirty work. And that's a guy that I think if you can keep him on that line, you can move Barima to another line. I think it just spreads the wealth a little bit more. So I just like the way they've been working, battling hard. The belief is starting to come, and they're on the rise. And I think that's, as a coaching staff, you don't want to see Liberty hockey peak right now just before, American Thanksgiving. You want to see them peak come February, and as soon as it's time for national championship, and you want to see that motor going. So if they continue to build, get better, they're working hard in practice, I'm sure the coaching staff is really happy with where they're at right now.
Thanks for your insight, as always. You're definitely going to want to tune in on Friday. We have a special broadcast for you. All the games are going to be on LFSN this weekend. For more information on our hockey teams, head over to our website and follow us on social media. For Rett McGibbon, I'm Monika McKenzie. See you this weekend.